There's a myriad of battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover. Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle. A fine tale, all told of true chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to falling in battle, to death itself.
Well,
towards the Limgrave Arena. Follow the trail heading northwest from War Master's Shack towards the Limgrave Arena. There you should be invaded by the most easily missed invader, Recusant Henricus. He is probably the easiest NPC invader to defeat and will drop the Hammer Talisman, which is pretty useful for heavy weapon builds. Return to the road near War Master's Shack and head along it towards the northeast. Discover the Saints Bridge Site of Grace and then make your way southwest up onto the hillside to
Hello?
Here to learn about...
Well,
Hello? Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck.
Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this? My thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure.
Don't dally. There's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say. Come on.
I'll pop clean... Well played, good sir. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Ah. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And once again, the pleasure is mine. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education. And beyond these lands lie the Scarlet Rot. Upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast up? I'm heading eastward to Redmane Castle, on the southern edge of the Scarlet Rot-blighted Caelid Wilds. I've heard there's to be a festival held there. I'm heading east to Redmane Castle, on the southern edge of... I've heard there's...
To meet a new NPC, Iron Fist Alexander. Agree to help him out of the rut he's in and then do it with charged weapons on a gesture. Speak with Alexander. If you have the map fragment for this area and want to get it before continuing with the guide, you can find it near the Mistwood Ruins. Continue traveling past the Saint's Bridge and you'll find D, Hunter of the Dead. Speak with him. Continue traveling past the Saint's Bridge and you'll find D, Hunter of the Dead. Speak with him, but don't heed his warning. Instead, discover the Summonwater Village outskirts Site of Grace and then move into the village. Here, you'll face the relatively easy boss known as Tibia Mariner. This is actually one of the easiest bosses in the game and will give you a fair chunk of runes to level up your character, along with the Skeleton Militiaman Ashes and a Death Root. As a quick side note, if you're on a new character, you should be trying to always spend your runes on leveling up, and the best thing you can do for yourself early on is dump those levels into the Vigor stat. After defeating the Mariner, you should find a D near the west entrance of the village. Show him the Death Root and he'll mark the coordinates on your map for a transporter near the Third Church of Marika. He'll instruct you to take it to meet Gurranq the Beast Clergyman. Before doing that though, we'll briefly venture into Caelid, which can be dangerous but won't be too bad if approached correctly. To the northeast is the Smoldering Church. When approaching, make sure to rush inside and discover the site of grace, as Anastasia Tarnished Eater will invade. This is
there. Death has left its mark once again. Ah, a tarnished, are you? I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning. The village here has been touched by death. And worse yet, it is home to a mariner. If you value your life, then go no further. The village here has been touched by death. Turn back. What? Another fool who won't listen to reason, eh? But with a prowess for weeding deathroot. How would you like to earn the strength of beasts? If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death and weed their death root, then I'll introduce you to Garank, the beast clergyman. I have a matter of my own to attend to, and the beast himself wishes for someone to take my place. What say you? Very well. Show me your map. I've marked the location for you, of a hidden gateway. It will lead you to Garank, the beast clergyman. I have a matter of... I've spotted the mark of the centipede, an ill-omened symbol that should not be. Someone, or something, threatens the sanctity of the golden must be. What is it? Still milling about? The map indicates where it will lead you to go.
So that, in case you die, you'll just respawn at the church and can run back outside to trigger the invasion again. Anastasia is a bit tanky and hits like a truck, especially if you are a lower level. However, her moveset is pretty limited and often leaves her open for charged or jump attacks. She'll drop the Sacred Scorpion Charm Talisman, and at this site of grace will cause Melina to appear to take you to Round Table Hold. Upon arriving to the hold, speak with the various NPCs. This includes Gideon, Dialos, Dee, Corin, Fia, Hugh, and Ensha. Make sure to speak with each several times until they have nothing new to say. Speaking with Corin for the first time will get you the prayer gesture. If you speak with Dee at this point, he won't have much to say as you haven't yet visited Gurranq, the Beast Clergyman. Speak with Fia and allow her to hold you, just make sure to find the Baldachin's Blessing in your inventory and use it, as it will reduce your Vigor stat by 1 point for as long as you have it. After the first time Fia holds you, you can have her hold you again to speak in secret with her for more information on her background. Ensha won't speak with you, but if you interact with him you'll get the "what do you want" gesture. Then there's Hugh. He's the blacksmith and will upgrade your armaments in exchange for smithing stones and runes. He can also duplicate Ashes of War. Finally, I need to bring up Mad Tongue Alberich. He'll invade when you jump over the balcony in Round Table.
You haven't gone to see Gurranq yet, have you? Well, no rush. You do as you just as long as he doesn't starve to death, eh? Go to Gurranq only if you feel the time is right. Killing those who live in death and weeding there is a path not to be trod without ample result. Go to Gurranq, killing those is a path not to be trod with.
Be sure to tell me if you meet a young... She's a servant to me. She's been my companion. I've lost count of the number of times I've had to find her like this. Honestly.
A pleasure to meet you. My name is Roderica. I'm a recent arrival. Isn't this place impressive? The Round Table Hold, covert quarters of the Two Fingers, and gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us Tarnished had such fantastic roots, although it's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own It's all a bit much for me. I'm still looking for...
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion, would you allow perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness? Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldachin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. Ah, my... You are... What you felt light up inside you was a Baldachin's blessing. Though it is but a fleeting thing, I am... Come back to me. Should you require, I will take you in my arms. I am... Would you like the blessing? Would you like to be... Now? I was known as a deathbed companion. After I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him to do so is the purge. Before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace. Pray, despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me. Then good day to you.
They're those eyes of a challenger who find them well. The girl you brought here, she's crestfallen and can scarcely swing a blade. She has a gift. I saw another one like her long. Their eyes share the same.
It's all a bit. I'm still looking for my. You're telling me I possess some kind of gift? I don't believe. If I do have this talent, and goodness knows it would be my. I suppose I should try to hone it. I'll ask Master Hugh. Certainly he does appear intimidating and holds no love for us. I know he's trapped here at the round table. I can tell. He's a gentle.
Back all no matter. The girl. Are you out of your mind? Who'd stay with an ugly brute who are absurd? I refuse to believe. I don't doubt you, but I know when something's too good.
If I do, I suppose I should try. I'll ask Master Hugh.
Go to Garank only if you're killing those who... Is it?
Table hold to the area below. Give him a moment after he invades and you won't be able to get it until your next playthrough. That being said, you might want to hold off on unlocking the gesture and then defeat him. You won't be able to get it until your next playthrough. That being said, you might want to hold off on challenging the Mad Sorcerer without having to also defeat him. So either wait to get the gesture and defeat him, or spend all of your runes before going to fight him so you've got nothing to lose. With all introductions made, travel back to the Smoldering Church. We're gonna go through Gale Tunnel, but we won't be fighting much at this point. We just want to get the second interaction with Alexander. You can pretty easily make it to the entrance of this tunnel without fighting any enemies by following the path I take. Once there, quickly drop down a series of ledges to reach the site of grace in the tunnel below. From here, it's a relatively quick and easy jog to reach the other side, and you can pick up a couple of nice runes along the way. Avoid opening the door to the boss room for now, as it's almost unfair at lower levels. Instead, open the smaller door nearby, which is only openable from this side. Beyond it, you'll find Alexander and the rear Gale Tunnel entrance site of Grace. Discover the Grace and rest at it to take care of any enemies that are chasing you, speak with Alexander and go through all of his dialogue, then proceed out the back exit of Gale Tunnel back into Limgrave. Make your way south down the Spirit Springs while riding Torrent. The final Spirit Spring will bring you down right near the Third Church of Marika, and a treasure scarab nearby will drop the Sacred Blade Ash of War when defeated. Go into the Third Church of Marika and find the Wondrous Physic Flask, Crimson Crystal Tear, and Sacred Tear, then discover the Site of Grace. The first time resting there, you can speak with Melina to learn more about the echoes of Queen Marika.
Oh, the esteemed warrior. Where did you spring from? This was supposed to be a dead end, I'm sure of it. What's going on here? A door from thin air? Well, stranger things happen at sea, or so I'm told. But onward. Gosh, that dead end had me rather stumped. It's time I said the festival at Redmane. Doesn't the thought just set your heart aflutter? It's time for the festival. Doesn't the thought just...
Now is also a good time to mix the final. Spirit Spring will bring you down right near the Third Church of America, and find the one first time resting there. You can speak with Melina to learn more about the echoes of Queen Marika.
Spoken echoes linger here. Words of Queen Marika, if you wish. Very well, my lord, and thy warriors. I divest each of thee of thy... With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance.
Now is also a good time to mix the Crimson Crystal Tear into the Physic Flask for some extra healing. Travel to the transporter that D marked on the map. It's to the north behind the Third Church of Marika. Use it to be transported to the Bestial Sanctum, discover the Site of Grace, and then speak with Gurranq near the back of the Sanctum. Give him the death root from earlier to obtain the Beast's Eye key item, and Clawmark Seal, which can be used to cast incantations. At this point, you can return to Roundtable Hold and tell D that you've met with Gurranq. You'll then gain access to his Golden Order incantations, and this is basically the end.
I smell it. Death. Feeding me. Tarnished. Bring more deaths. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more. I shall grant feed.
You've met Gurranq. Then, owing to our duties shared, we're now comrades in arms. I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death. I serve the Golden Order, that I might put this crooked land to rights, following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated, down to the very last. Did you need some?
Of D's short questline, though he will be involved in other quests soon enough. Return to the Third Church of Marika and head southwest to find Kenneth Haight on top of some ruins. Speak with him and agree to take back Fort Haight. Travel southeast through the Mistwoods towards the fort and grab the map fragment along the way. Wolf, which we'll circle back to in a bit. The fort and fight the armored knight near. Retrieve the left half of the Dectus medallion. Fast travel to the Church of Elay and ask Kale about the howling near the Mistwood ruins. This will unlock the finger snap gesture. Return to Fort Haight West and make your way northwest towards the Mistwood ruins. Once you are within the ruins' boundaries, use the finger snap gesture and a new NPC, Blide, will drop down him several times more and front and then make your way southeast. After discovering the Agiel Lake North Grace, find a talking tree further to the southeast a short distance from the B. Seems through all of it. You'll find plenty within the Limgrave tunnels along the path passing over a bridge. On the east side of the road, you should spot the Waypoint ruins. Find the staircase leading down to a chamber where you'll face off with a Pumpkinhead mini-boss. Defeating the Pumpkinhead will also unlock a new Site of Grace and open passage to a new room where you'll find another NPC, Sorceress Sellen. She has an extensive quest log. Open face off with a bridge, the Agiel Lake North Site of Grace. He's friendly and will give you a handful of mushrooms as thanks for freeing him. Make sure to speak through all of his dialogue before moving on. As a quick note, if you need more level 1 smithing stones to upgrade your weapon of choice, you'll find plenty within the Limgrave tunnels, which is very easily reached from the Agiel Lake North site of Grace. But getting back on topic, continue along the path passing over a bridge. On the east side of the road, you should spot the Waypoint ruins.
Oh, well, you bested Godric the Grafted and claim my congratulations. Now, visit for an audience with the 2 fingers. Go to the for an audience.
Continue along the path, passing over a bridge.
Tarnished, are we? No wonder you should turn up here. I am Selen, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here? Ah, a yen for glintstone sorceries. Well, your aptitude does appear passable, but one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to look? Well, you are a piece. Very well. You are now my protege in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young. Our art draws upon the powers embedded in glintstone. But what is the nature of glintstone? Is the golden amber contains the remnants of ancient life, and while glintstone contains residual life, and thus the vitality should not be forgotten. Glintstone sorcery is the study of the stars, a fact lost on most sorcerers these days.
On the east side of the road, you should spot the Waypoint Ruins. Find the staircase leading down to the site of Gray's ancestral line, but for now, you can begin your tutelage. Up on the nearby hill, you'll find the Forlorn Hound Everjail, the location of Bloodhound summoning sign. After a smithy, continue south across the Bridge of Sacrifice into the Weeping Peninsula. A short distance from the Bridge of Sacrifice site of Grace, you'll pick up the map fragment. Head up to be found. You can into the Ailing Village. Stop by the Kalu Baptismal Church where a sacred tear can be found. A safe drop that will allow you to access a bridge that leads to the west side of the peninsula. Resting at the site of Great Minor Erd Tree with a relatively easy boss, or distance to the southwest, those 3 sacred tears will dramatically improve the potency of your flasks of tears, and the bubble tear will add an extra protective. West edge of the peninsula, you'll find the Isolated Merchant's Shack, 500 runes. Returning to the you can also get the Zui find the Isolated Merchant's Shack, where you can purchase a lantern for 1800 runes. Castlemorn Lift will be making you'll find the speak with him and hand over Irina's letter. Make sure to go through all of his dialogue before there are a couple of items in this area that are particularly good or required for any of the game's trophies or the Rampart Jail, head down to the boss. Return to Edgar at the East Tower and speak with him. With the legendary sword secured, he is comfortable leaving the castle to reunite with Irina, but again, just make sure to go through all of his dialogue before moving on. Fast travel back to the Bridge of Sacrifice to find a new scene playing out. You'll see the bloodied body of Irina with a weeping Edgar hunched over her. speak with Edgar and he'll vow to hunt down whoever did this to his daughter. Fully resolving this questline will need to wait until you've made it to Liurnia. For now though, make your way
Your appetite for learning, you make me proud. You.
I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from... I'm no longer bound. Once I've rescued Arena, I will spend my remaining day... Thanks to you, and devote my... Arena has a... I only hope it remains in... Thanks to you, and devote my remaining day... Arena has a... Gentle, I only hope it... How could this be? My daughter deserved better. For life, I chose duty over my daughter's safety, and that is how fate has acted. I'll find the foul wretches responsible. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every... Rest assured, Arena, it will be... I'll hunt them down and exterminate every... Rest assured.
Back into Limgrave, then head northeast to discover the seaside ruins site of Grace. Beneath the nearby underpass, you'll find a new NPC by the name of Yura. Speak with Yura and he'll warn you of Flying Dragon Agil to the north. Flying Dragon Agil will swoop in to attack when you approach the group of worshippers near a large pyre northwest of the dragon-burnt ruins. If you manage to defeat Agil, you can return to Yura and share the news. He'll tell you about the Church of Dragon Communion off the west coast of Limgrave. We'll head there, completing the next steps in Bach's questline along the way. Find the entrance to the coastal cave west of the first step site of Grace. In the boss room, return to the coastal cave, give Bach. When you approach Murkwater Cave, you'll be invaded by defeating the invader. Yura will then move to a new location a short distance north of Murkwater Cave. You can speak with him there to learn more about his backstory and mission. After that, head into Murkwater Cave to find another important NPC, Patches. He'll attack you after that, head into
for work, and as such, the heart you brought back. It's used in drug. If you should find yourself overcome by hunger for the heart, then seek the decrepit church on the little island off the western coast. You must not forget, though, those who partake in dragon communion will one day shed their humanity, their hunger for dragon, their yearning until the floodgates burst. The strength of a mighty dragon. It's no surprise that dragon communion is ruinous. You must not forget, though, those who partake in dragon communion, their hunger for dragon, their yearning, until the floodgates burst, unleashing eternal torment. The strength of a mighty, it's no surprise.
To Murkwater Cave to find another important NPC, Patches. He'll
To a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief! The gods demand repentance! Cough up your food! All of it!
attack you after you loot his chest. However, reducing him to half health will cause him to surrender and become friendly, and unlock the Grovel for Mercy gesture. Patches is not very tough, so take care and use a relatively weak weapon to beat him down. After the fight, speak with Patches and go through all of his dialogue, then reload the game and Patches will open up his shop where he sells a couple of useful items. At this point, you can give Patches 3 hits with a weak weapon to make him hostile for the second time. Then let him attack you. Once Patches damages you a good chunk, he'll give you the travel back to Agiel Lake and head up north, by Bloody Finger the Invader. Will then move to Story and he'll attack and unlock the after the a couple style for the second time. Then let him attack you. Once Patches damages you a good chunk, he'll give you the extreme After the fight, speak with Patches and go through all of his dialogue. You can give him the Fell Omen. From the Stormhill Shack, head northeast to Castle Ward Tunnel. Near the boss room, you'll find a summoning sign for a new NPC, Sorcerer Roger. In this first meeting, he'll assist you in the fight against Margit. Defeating Margit will unlock a second slot for equipping Talisman NPC that you should not attack. When the main gate is away, will pillar and you'll be able to buy an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone from Gestok as long as he's still alive. Once you've rested at the Tower Bridge site of Grace, it's worth putting up with, as later on you'll be able to buy an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone from Gestok as long as he's still alive. Once you've rested at the Tower Bridge site of Grace, double back and defeat the Guardian Lion. Then proceed north through the castle until reaching the Liftside Chamber site of Grace. From here, we'll make our way to Rajer's temporary location within the castle. Head out the east exit, then move south across the courtyard and into a large tower. On that you can either fight a pile of corpses to Rajer's side, head of. Now Gatekeeper Gestalk actually has a few locations around the castle where he'll be spying on you. One of those is on top of this church's rooftop, right above Rajer's position. That being said, I think going through the main gate might prevent Gestalk from showing up at any of those locations. Regardless, they're all optional interactions, and the most you get out of it is a Grace Mimic, which is worth about 100 runes. Before continuing through the castle, travel to Stormhill Shack, speak with Roderica, and give her the Chrysalids memento. After going through all of her dialogue, she'll make her way to Roundtable Hold. Go there and speak with her a few more times to get a golden seed. You can speak with Hugh about Roderica, then skills Anita up. You'll find the boss room, head south from the room consist that you summon her in the NPC Unbanished Knights. Near the Erdtree Sapling, your boss room, head south from the secluded cell, past the Troll and Banished Knights. Near the Erdtree Sapling, you'll find the entrance to a room containing the final important NPC on Limgrave.
I thank you. As your brother, so what can I do for you? Did you need some?
Oh, your divinity, have mercy and grant me forgiveness. The road is yet long, a god is not easily felled. But one day, without fail, you will have your wish. So please grant me forgiveness, Queen Marika. I didn't. I'll be doing my job. Just lay out it. Those words were not meant for you. I may be prisoner to you, Tarn, but my prayers are mine. Well, I've had my say. I spoke with the girl. She has a gift, so I told her I'm indebted to us. It was all I could do to honor. I'm sorry I don't.
Good to see. I have you to thank, don't I? I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of... I'm as yet unsure of what I'm... But if I might be able to help, and if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my... Well, I certain... Roderica, the Spirit Tune Apprentice. I'd like to ask you a small... Can you take this little one along with? It can't be summoned here. The spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company.
Nefeli. Speak through all of her dialogue, and she'll insist that you summon her in the fight against Godric. Just outside of the Godric boss room, you'll now find Nefeli's summoning sign, and it's totally up to you whether you accept this offer of help. Either way, enter the boss room and face off with Godric the Grafted. Defeating Godric will get you the Remembrance of the Grafted along with Godric's Great Rune. A new Site of Grace will appear nearby, and when you rest at it, so will Gatekeeper Gestok. He has several unimpressive items for sale, but again, make sure not to attack him as he will have an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone for us to purchase later on. At this point, we're almost done with Limgrave. While you don't have to, you can go activate the Great Rune of Godric over at the Divine Tower of Limgrave. Whether or not you've done that, return to Roundtable Hold. First, seek out Nefeli and speak through all of her dialogue. If you can't find her, you may need to speak with Gideon more near the main table and then reload the game. She'll give you the Arsenal Charm if you spoke with her before defeating Godric. After speaking to her multiple times, she'll inform you that she is leaving Roundtable Hold to continue her journey. You'll also want to speak with Finger Reader Enya. She can exchange the unique rewards for any remembrances from bosses that you bring her. Speaking with her will also cause Gideon to open the doors to his personal chamber and advance Vare's quest. Next, find Roger sitting by the balcony. Tell him you defeated Godric and you'll be rewarded with Roger's Rapier +8. Go back to the first step Site of Grace to find a message where Vare used to stand. Reading it will unlock the Bravo gesture, and we won't find Vare again until we venture into Liurnia. To trigger the next step of Roger's quest, we'll need to visit the corpse beneath Stormvale Castle. Starting from the lift side chamber, take the lift up and then proceed along a somewhat hidden path. As a quick tip to your jumps. On the ground. On. Section 2. You forward and drop down. Attacked by an ulcerated tree spirit. I'm not sure if defeating it is actually necessary, but that's what I did and dodge its attack down the top. You can also Roger ended up behold and ask him about the corpse under their history. Also, head over to Fia.
Ah, we meet again after all. I apologize for any offense given by my bearing, but I'm quite unable to move, so... Ah, you defeated Godric and claimed your... Looks like we both got what we wanted out of Stormvale. Well done. Something to mark the occasion. As you might have guessed, I still can't move. No need to be polite. I've no... Ah, so D is an old friend. We found ourselves journeying together for a time, bound by our exploration of death. But our paths have since diverged, though that's hardly an uncommon fate for two friends. D was telling me that he discovered the mark of the centipede. The centipede is an ancient symbol of the curse mark. As long as whoever finds and uses it is not nefarious by nature, then we may be able to form an alliance. If only I could speak to them in person. And if they were like you, all the better.
Ah. Are you acquainted with a man named, you know, the piteous fellow hiding away on the balcony? He was a formidable spellblade in times. Don't let his easy air deceive you. He was wise beyond his years, stout of heart, and clear no more, though. You see him now, ravaged by thorns, muttering and like he's half dead already. Take well the lesson. That's how you end up when seduced by those who, when grace is sullied, it rots people from the inside.
Are you? You've done well. I interpret the words of the... Look there. Let there with great Elden Ring, anchor of all lands, giver of until it was shut. The tragic corruption of the Order across the realm. Life lies in ruin, foul curses and but the greater will has not abandoned. So it is that the Tarnished are guided by brave Tarnished. Your great rune is a handsome seek, another to become Elden Lord. Let the words of... Well, a remembrance of gold. Demigods and all hewn by the Earth Tree upon they are these remembrances yet housed, and should you wish to wield, I will lend you the spur. The fingers guide us all. Now go forth.
You've received the wisdom of the two things. Then I bid you welcome. As a true member, I am known as Gideon Off. As a Tarnished who wishes to stand before the Elden Ring and become, I am accumulating knowledge. You now belong to a select group of fellows. As such, you'll be after more great runes. Then, as your fellow, allow me to divulge a little. The inheritors of the great runes, we of the Round Table know the location of 5 of them. Godric the Grafted, Lord of General Radahn, who fought Melania and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid Wilds. Praetor Rykard, Lord of the Volcano Manor of Morgoth, the Grace-Given, Veiled Monarch and Lord of Leyndell, and Renala, Queen of the Full. You'll still be after more great rune.
Starting from the lift side chamber, take the lift up and then proceed along a somewhat hidden path. As a quick tip, in case you didn't know, you can sprint by holding the dodge roll button while running, and doing that will add significant distance to your jumps. Once you reach a gold message on the ground, turn to the south and make your way.
Always good to see. So, the misshapen corpse on the storm, that is a sacred relic of the Black Knives plot, as that famed night of assassination is known. It happened during the golden age of the Erd Tree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night, murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. I once wished to become a scholar, you see. I've spent many an hour scouring the archives for knowledge of that fateful plot. The world has grown crooked, and if you intend to put it to rights, you'd better understand what happened to make it. And that thing is to blame for the shape. I urge the utmost caution. Don't disturb the corpse more than necessary.